Let me ask you this. So back in the day, were you guys mainly beefing with just other Chinese gangs in Chinatown, or were you going to different boroughs and having issues with like Latin Kings and Bloods and stuff like that?
I mentioned earlier, remember that so-called poem I read?
Hmm.
King's Highway Boys is KHB, Avenue U Boys is AUB, Avenue U Boys. Um, some of those like street gangs, the white gangs that we had beef with. The Hispanics, yeah, one time um, had beef with them because they've mistaken us for the BTK. Because I guess the BTK was at a pool hall and they stabbed one of the Hispanic kids, and then they blame our crew for it. Yeah, but it was the wrong crew. Wrong crew. The Fuk Ching didn't do it. It was the BTK. But I guess they were upset that one of their friends got stabbed and they wanted to get their revenge. One thing led to another. One thing led to another. The Hispanic kid got shot and killed, and one of my buddies got had to do 15 years for that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then yeah, mostly with the white kids. We had one time there was a shooting inside the movie theater in Kings Highway, the Kings Highway movie theater. A bunch of white kids were inside the movie theater. They were sitting in the back row, based on what I heard from the streets. And you had a Chinese couple, gang members, two guys, two girls sitting in the middle, and they're like throwing popcorn at them, at the head. I guess they didn't know they were gang members. I guess they're just bullying, having fun with them, whatever. They didn't take too kindly of that. They got up and started blasting away, and then that causes some tension. But when they ran out of the movie theater, I guess they were shooting, and then they missed. They didn't hit anybody, so they came back again, did a drive by, and finally hit one of the white kids in the leg, and then they blamed it on us, on our crew. So we get blamed for the things that other gangs did, like the BTK or the Green Dragons or the White Tiger. It's like, because remember, we were a new gang. We were just starting up the Fuk Ching in the 80s, the mid 80s. So they blamed it on us because we were there, just happened to be there. And so when they blamed it on us, they started retaliating on us, and then we had to shoot one of them, kill one of them, and then one of my guys did 21 years. Oh, we did 21 years for that shooting. Yeah. But it was three against one when they caught him alone. And it could have been self-defense, but I guess the lawyer didn't do him right. He could have pled out and did a couple of years, but he rolled the dice, took it to trial, and he did 21 years for that.
That's crazy.
Uh,
So I've done a lot of interviews with like Latin King members and some Bloods, and the big conversation is always their war against each other, right? When you were a detective in Brooklyn, did you witness any of this firsthand?
when I was a detective, it was mostly Mexicans. Mexicans fight each other at war. MS-13 and like the Mexican gangs,
Hmm.
but not the Chinese or Latin Kings. Latin Kings got really quiet after a while because this they know they've been here longer in the U.S. longer, so they know the power of RICO.
Right.
The Mexicans, they're a lot of them are immigrants new to the country, and they don't speak English. They only speak Spanish. They don't know when they drop the hammer on you. But the Latin Kings, Puerto Ricans, they speak English. They know. They have they're similar to like the Chinese. They really have this tight family bond, with their family. Um, so they know.
That was a real big issue when MS-13 came to New York, though, right? Because I know that they said that there was a war between MS-13 and Latin Kings too.
No, not with not in the neighborhood that I worked in. Yeah, they were fighting amongst themselves, the Mexican gangs. Yeah, and they were targeting, I guess, people who were in that. They used to be a gang member, and they were targeting those kids. A lot of stabbings. They do a lot of stabbings.